This is Dabu 7. We now have the release of the much anticipated JFK files, but it's not everything that everyone was hoping for, although we do have some of the bigger takeaways we're going to go over right here. Now, this is the first release of 2025, so to speak, so there's said to be more coming. Now, 7 of 10 JFK files that were held in the archives and that were sought by researchers are now in the public record. The release does not include 2/3 of the promised files, which is a big deal, nor any of the 500 plus IRS records, nor any of the 2,400 recently discovered FBI files. But some say this is a start. There is new information to be gleaned from this. From what I can tell, full scale though, it looks like a lot of deflection away from the CIA, even though you can tell and see that they're everywhere. They have their hands on absolutely everything. They're involved in almost every story. I gotta say, one of the stories that stand out the most here is the one covering JFK Jr. when he was still alive. He wrote a letter to Joe Biden calling him a traitor, which is pretty crazy, calling him out for everything. And pretty wild that JFK Jr. goes down in this mysterious crash. And Biden goes on to become president, vice president, then president. From what it seems, it looks like a lot of these stories try to connect back to Russia, and that there were KGB officers involved around handling Oswald, although the CIA was all over it, monitoring every bit of it, kind of overseeing every bit of it. Then they go into trying to say how a Vietnamese general wanted to assassinate Kennedy, and how Eisenhower had raised questions on, was it an FBI agent that took out Kennedy? All in all, I know people are looking for the big smoking gun thing, like on who killed Kennedy, who was behind it. Are they going to say it? Are they not? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's not been said per se in this. Outside of what they've already told you, that Oswald was the shooter, they're not coming out with any huge bombshells with this release. It was more or less information that was released that was redacted, that was the safest in my opinion, and that the biggest stuff is still yet to be released. Now, this will make the second time that Trump, in my opinion, has dropped a flop for the people. Now, there are some interesting things, like I talked about, connected to this, but the most interesting has got to be the piece here where they're talking about what they would not have seen by the public. Look at this. It says the CIA has no obligation to declassify or release CIA information in this document except for what's in the brackets. What's in the brackets? What's in the brackets down here? Quite interesting, because it seems like this is where everything tracks back to before we hit a dead end. I'm going to break this down further on the live stream, dive into some of the details, and anything else that we can uncover with this. But these are the biggest things, takeaways. I'll leave a link so you can kind of read through them, but there's really nothing bombshell here. This has got to be at the top right here, this one. But the rest just seems to be just some interesting info that was thrown out there, but definitely, most definitely, not what people were looking for, in my opinion. Again, join me for the live streams where I break this down further. I hope to see you guys there. Much love.